Keith, you got one or no?
I think you covered it, H. That was kind of what I was thinking, a high-end pitcher with some injury history. Your same line of thinking. Davis can't stay on the court for a high upside guy. So I like what you said with Sale. It's a pretty good comparison. But part of the exercise we were going to do here, guys, is this was a truly shocking trade. I mean, I think a lot of people thought it wasn't real when they saw it online at first, but it turned out to be real. So what we're going to do is take a look back at some of the most surprising trades in our world in Major League Baseball in this century. And the first one, H, we're going back to 2004 with A-Rod and Alfonso Soriano. Now, we knew A-Rod was going to get moved, but we all thought he was going to Boston. That was in the works for so long. And Soriano, I mean, it's easy to remember how his career kind of faded out with the Cubs, but at this time, I know he didn't have a defensive position, but a pretty dynamic player here and an old-fashioned one-for-one swap. There was a player to be named later also involved in that deal, Joaquin Arias, but A-Rod being traded, a huge shock specifically not to Boston.
Yeah, that was big. That was big. And
I forgot Soriano was in that deal.
Yeah.
Soriano had some great years, man.
He did.
That's a good one.
Really
now, this next one, guys, was from the first year of this program way back in 2012. And you remember that the Marlins had brought in all of these guys that you see on the left side of the board for the first year of Marlins Park, which was 2012. And then out of nowhere, after 1 year in their new digs, they send them all north of the border to Toronto. A monster deal, 7 players on the other side of this one going back. Yeah, Bonifacio, that is your guy. You've been talking about him 13 years later, H. That's right. But Josh Johnson, probably a better pitcher than guys remember. So that was a true blockbuster deal. Now, next one, guys, similar to the first one. You don't see many of these one-for-one swaps anymore, and this was a true shocker. How about Ian Kinsler and Prince Fielder swapping sides? There was also $30 million involved in the deal going to Texas to cover some of Prince's deal. But you go back and read the stories from the time Kinsler was on vacation. His agent found out on an ESPN ticker, and they had to kind of get together and say, is this really happening? So not only was it a shock to the fans, but the player himself didn't even know he was being moved. Now, this last one, guys, we'll pair 2 of them together. Again, it's not necessarily that these players got moved. Not exactly the same as Luka getting traded out of nowhere. But how about the back-to-back days of A.J. Preller? First, Blake Snell acquired from the Rays. He had just won the Cy Young 2 years before. And then the very next day, guys, they go out and get Yu Darvish. So in the matter of just 24 hours, 2 frontline pitchers to the same franchise out in San Diego. A shocker back in 2020 coming off of that COVID season.
Boy, you mentioned A.J. Preller, and he is a wheeler and a dealer, man, and he has been strangely quiet, you know? I'm sure that has to kill him, because at his heart, he's a guy that likes to make some deals.
That's why I think he's going to make a move. When you start hearing Dylan Cease is out there, and you start hearing that he might trade the other with Michael King, you're sitting there going, they got to replenish their farm system at some point. And they've always, you look at the players that he traded. The Padres know how to develop.
They do.
All these other organizations, we're number 5, we're number 3, you're not developing big league impact players. That's what you should get for being a top organization with the minor leagues.
Yeah,
are your guys impact players? The Padres went, yes, here's the deals we'll make.
They
can go get anybody they wanted to, so they got to replenish that right now.